Hello everyone, we're back today with another video presented to you by the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted to talk about a recent act that was just passed. It is H.R. 748, commonly referred to as the CARES Act, and it stands for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. It was signed into law this past Friday, March 27th, by our president, and with an estimated cost of $6.2 trillion, it is the largest emergency aid package in U.S. history. So it includes a lot of money going to many different places. $500 billion of it will be going in aid for the hardest hit industries. This includes airlines, cruise lines, restaurants, mainly anything to do with the travel and hospitality industries. $350 billion will be going to federally guaranteed loans for small businesses, and this is part of the job retention loans with debt forgiveness. This is very, very important. They're referred to as PPP loans. Payroll Protection Plan is what it stands for, and we will be covering this in our next video very, very in depth. This is something you definitely want to pay attention to and definitely want to take advantage of. It is essentially free money to help you keep your employees working and on payroll. So definitely keep your eye out for more information on that and watch our next video. It is super important. The CARES Act also includes $300 billion in direct payments for most Americans, and we say most Americans because that is referring to anyone who is earning less than $99,000 a year. It's an approximate value of $1,200 per adult and $500 per child, and that will come in the form of a tax refund. So you won't be getting a check in the mail, well, you will, but with your tax refund, essentially. $250 billion of this stimulus package is going to help expand unemployment benefits. I think everyone by now has heard that unemployment is at an all-time high all across the nation, especially here in California, but really all across the nation. And with this money, laid-off workers can receive up to 100% of their regularly earned wages for about 4 months. So that will go a long way in helping those individuals. $200 billion is set aside for other domestic priorities. I'm not quite sure what that means, but there's an 880-page act online you could read if you really wanted to find that out. $100 billion is going to hospitals and other industries on the front lines, which of course is needed. $45 billion is going to our disaster relief fund. $27 billion for the development of vaccines and other treatment options. I don't know how many of you heard Dr. Fauci speak the other day about the vaccine that's being developed at a record-setting pace. Not only is that being done, but he wants a back supply of the vaccines that are being tested so that when they are approved, they are ready to spread. We can get them out and get them in people's hands, and that's where that $27 billion will be going towards. $16 billion is going to build up the nation's critical stockpile. Again, most of you know that much of that stockpile has now been depleted as the federal government sends PPE stuff all across the nation, especially to New York and California. $3.5 billion is being sent to expand child care services for the healthcare workers and first responders. With so many kids out of school, it is putting a big strain on our healthcare industry. Those people we are asking to work longer and longer hours, meanwhile their kids are home and not in school. So I think it is incredible that they included that in this bill, and definitely necessary. $1 billion is going for securing supplies under the Defense Production Act. If you don't know what that is, Basically, the president can tell a company that you must make certain things because it is needed for our defense of our nation, basically. So what does all that mean for a small business? That's a lot of money, a lot of different directions it's going to, and I'm sure that many of you are thinking, what does that mean to me? It's just more money than we can possibly comprehend, and how is that going to in turn help my business now? So I wanted to let you know that significant help is on its way through this act. It's not some far off thing. It's not something that's going to be horribly cumbersome to apply to. It is true relief, and it is on its way. The act actually said that it goes into effect 15 days from the date it was signed on March 27th. So this is going to be readily available to us. The types of aid included in the small business portion of that come in the form of payroll tax credits for keeping your employees working. So you will get 50% of the wages that you pay to individuals up to $10,000. You get to take that off in payroll tax credits. So about $5,000 an individual. That's going to go a long way. It also includes payroll tax deferments until the end of the year. So most companies pay about 7% payroll tax, 7.5, I believe. 6.2 something goes directly to the Social Security portion of that. That portion, the Social Security tax portion of the payroll tax, you can defer and not pay anything for the rest of the year. Then you have 2 years in which you can pay that back. Half of it in 2021, half of it in 2022. For those companies that payroll is one of your larger expenses, that help can go a long way, and it's immediate. You don't really need to do anything right now other than you don't need to pay those payroll taxes. And there is more funds being allotted for SBA low interest rate loans. And most importantly are the payroll protection plan loans that, again, we will be speaking more about in our next video. It is a little bit complex. A lot of you may have already heard about it. Many of you may think it's a scheme or that it would be taking advantage. None of that is true. It is definitely aid that is meant to help you. It is essentially free money, and that's what it's meant for. It's meant for companies to be able to keep their employees on staff and then not applying for unemployment benefits. So we'll talk more about that, but something you will definitely want to check out. In addition to what is included in the CARES Act, don't forget about the stuff that was included in the the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. I did a video of that a few days ago, and if you haven't watched it, make sure to check that one out because it goes into depth regarding the paid sick leave, which the government is mandating all companies offer 2 weeks on top of whatever you already offer, and paid family leave that's 12 weeks, 10 of which are paid at 2/3 the regularly earned wages. And that is available to anybody who even has a child home from school. So those are mandated by the government. Businesses must pay. However, you will be getting all of that back, 100% in payroll tax credits. And if what you've paid out goes above and beyond that, they will actually cut you a check. So there is a lot of aid out there right now. Probably definitely the most I've ever heard of, and probably the most many of you have ever heard of. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We are doing videos like this a few times a week where we are updating you on information that comes out, on any aid that is available from the federal government, the state government. We are trying to keep you informed as business owners and help you to inform your employees. Again, our next video, we'll talk more about the payroll protection plan. I will give actual detailed instructions on how you figure out how much money you should borrow, and set an example up for you. So it's pretty cut and dry there. If you have any further questions about the CARES Act or any of our videos, please go to our website at fvchamber.com and get a hold of us. We'd be happy to help you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.